What's up, guys? Philip at Trade Genius. All right, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin in today's video and look at the price action and what we can expect for the rest of the week. So without further ado, let's dive into this video.
Trade Genius.
All right, guys, so we have a weekly chart up. And so basically what we're looking at is a continuation of basically our move up out of the bearish pennant. So bearish pennant is you have a move down and then you create like this triangular pattern, and we've since been moving out of that. So we had 3 consecutive weeks where we've had higher, basically the week ended higher than it started. Last time we saw that was back in August of 2018, which was 3 weeks and then a sharp move down as we headed up toward this trend line, which has been our major cap and what we're basically looking to head toward on this move. I still think we're going to be heading toward that trend line. So again, we're looking at a move somewhere up to the 4,200 area. Now, this level of resistance here at about 38.70 or so has been kind of a hard level for Bitcoin to get past. It tried to get past it on this big move up here and head faked, and basically normally that's a bearish candle on the weekly. However, you need a follow through candle to confirm that. We have not gotten that. So it's more of a continuation pattern here. As far as this week goes, again, we're looking for closes above the weekly highs. So obviously this candle here gives us a weekly high of 41.88, and we really want to see a close above that to continue the bullish case. But the problem there is that if we do get a close on that, we're going to run into this big old trend line that's been basically the lid on this move down. So we're not really, even though if we clear that level, we've just got this huge trend line that's probably going to see some selling into that. So I wouldn't be rejoicing too much seeing a close over that. But on the weekly, you can see that we've got room to go on the upside. And then we'll drill down to the smaller time frames to see, as far as levels to look for. But on this level here, as far as the weekly goes, we're still in a buy condition and haven't seen any sell conditions yet. That would require a down move, and we might see that off of that trend line. But right now, everything is looking like a cycle up on the weekly. Now, if we look at the daily. So the daily, guys, basically the level that I'm kind of eyeballing here again is that level where, I showed you on the weekly chart, basically it's this support level here that was broken, and then we've been having a hard time getting past that. So that's the 38.80 level approximately. Again, on the daily, we're also in a buy condition, no sell conditions here, and we're kind of going sideways. So things are going to start to flatline a little bit here. As far as the volume goes, volume's dropping off a tad here. Basically, what I'm seeing is Bitcoin kind of consolidating, going sideways. We still are in an upwards movement, again, toward that trend line, but it's creating an opportunity where we see a lot of altcoin movement. So right now is a very favorable altcoin trading environment as Bitcoin moves sideways. One thing to note, guys, is if you look at the daily chart, one thing we like to see is higher highs and higher lows. And we do, in fact, have higher low put in on the daily. So this was the bottom. Here's our higher low. So what we're looking for is a higher high over this point here. And, we've got, if we draw a line here on this high, we kind of came up to that level and couldn't penetrate it. Would like to see a close above that for starters. And then I want to see a close above that level. So getting up above that 42.40 mark would be huge. But again, what's in the way? We've got this trend line, right? So everything's fine and dandy, but we got this trend line. Now, if we go up and we get through that level and a move like that, then the probability of this being our low for the bear market is very, very high percentage at that point. So that's key, seeing that breakthrough there. Okay. If we drill down to the 4-hour chart, what we're going to see is just a lot of sideways. Again, 4-hour chart, we're in a buy condition. The slower stoke is rolling over, and unless I see an uptick on that, something to the effect of this going up like that, the next thing we'd be looking for is to see if this 4-hour move runs out of steam and then these slower stochastics roll over. That would be a heads up. be looking for any confirmation on moneymaker signals at that point. Now we might have an intermediate rollover. The levels basically I want to show you on the 2-hour chart is going to be here. Now we were working off an inverted head and shoulders. Obviously at this point with the 2-hour chart, the key is to break this level around 38.75, and we want to hold this hammer candle. See this hammer candle here? Those are generally bullish, and you want to see that hold. That low there is 38.27. So you got 38.27 that you want to see hold, and you want to see a breakout above this 38.75 mark. I do think if we get that, we can finish off this move up to this fib extension we have at 39.88 for starters. If we can get to that, we probably see another little pullback above this level here that we made these highs around 3,900, 3,940, somewhere in there, and then we can make another push toward 4,200. So that's what I'm looking at for this week, guys. Basically some consolidation here to start, but we want to see these levels hold on this 2-hour time frame and then this move up. If this hammer does not hold and we break that low of 38.27, then to the downside, you know, we're looking at basically retesting. If we look at the volume profile, you're going to see that breaking that's probably going to retest this prior low around 3,800 or so. Okay. Remember this bar here, when we had that big wick, and that's pretty bullish. People came in, this normally would have been a BART move down, was bought up. So that tells me the buyers are defending these levels, and we're getting support higher and higher. So higher lows of support. But if we do break down that hammer, then we've got a node here, and that's going to probably take us to retest that 3,800 level. If we do break down below that, then what we do is we look at the larger time frame of price action here and see what's going on. And we do have an air gap. This is the risk here, and we could basically run back down to that 3,600 level, but we'd have to see a break below this wick, right? That wick was, these wicks have been holding, if you notice, and so those wicks, as long as they hold, they may get a retest down, but like here got a retest down and didn't quite test that level there and moved back higher. So if that wick, this is a downside scenario, guys. If that wick doesn't hold at around 37.80, we could get a quick trip back down to support around 36.20 or so. Okay, so there's your upside and downside scenarios. But I think based on the price action here, once we clear this 38.75 level, that's going to get us a move up to near 4,000 on the next leg up, and that's what I'm leaning towards. Here, just based on the technicals, and that we're in a buy cycle right now on the technicals. Okay, actually one more thing, guys. The CBOE expiration is today. A lot of people, they think, well, there's a lot of volatility. That's more so I think for the CME expiration, which is the last Friday of the month. The second Wednesday of the month is the CBOE expiration, as highlighted here on this chart. And you'll notice that whenever we go through these yellow lines, which is the CBOE expiration, it's either we continue the move that's happening into it. So here we had an up move, continued up, sideways, continued sideways, here sideways, continued sideways. I expect the same more or less here through today. Here was a down move, then we consolidated more down move. So here was sideways, continued sideways. I don't see a lot of, on the CBOE, because it's a smaller contract, I don't see a lot of swing type pivot. So that, as opposed to the CME expirations, where they will tend to start or stop a move. So if you're moving up into a CME or moving down into a CME, then the opposite will happen. It'll pivot price, and a down move turns into an up move, or an up move turns into a down move into the CME expirations, which are these red lines. So don't expect a whole lot earth-shattering movements off of today's expiration. One thing to note is that the Bitfinex, this is the Bitfinex long trading and short positions, and the shorts are starting to get close to where they cross up. And when that happens, guys, we've seen that actually be a catalyst for some moves. In this situation, the last time that it crossed up, we actually crossed up here, and the move would have already started down, and it continued to come down. That was toward the tail end there of last year, and kind of toward the tail end last push of that bear market move down. And then we had another situation where we crossed up here, and that actually created an up move there, and then we crossed up here, and that created an up move. So It doesn't create an up move every time. I think people have seen this, and when they see that cross up, they get excited. But you know, you have to keep in mind that when those have happened, when those have crossed up, here's another cross up, and that gave us a short little move up, and then it rolled over. So they're not a guarantee slam dunk. I know sometimes this gets floated around, but I wanted to address it, that it doesn't always guarantee that you're going to have an up move. I think if the move is going down and you get that cross up on a down move like we have here, I think it can continue the down move some more. If you're going sideways and they cross up, you might have more of a probability for an up move, and that's just because the shorts now have to cover if the price goes against them and you get a short squeeze. All right, so if they're selling short, they're borrowing to sell short, and if the price moves against them to cover their position and protect themselves, they have to buy higher to buy back the position, get out of that trade. So that's why those moves correlate in that fashion when the shorts cross up and get more shorts compared to longs. Okay, guys, I hope that helps. Again, looking probably for a break of that level we showed you on the 2-hour chart, just to recap, where we want to see a break above that 38.75 level for the bulls. Otherwise, if you're bearish, you're looking for a break on that low hammer of 38.27 or so. These are Coinbase prices, and we could get into territory where we could see a quick drop down into that 3,600 area. All right. Okay, guys, that's it for this video. Please hit like and subscribe. If you're interested in any of our indicators, head over to tradelikeagenius.com and check out what we have over there. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Trade Genius.